So, welcome to Sally's Kitchen again. Here we are and still in COVID-19 lockdown. So, what are we going to cook tonight? Well, I got some chicken reduced at Waitrose. Nice little free-range chicken thighs. They're on the bone. They're corn-fed. Corn-fed just makes them taste that little bit special. You know that they've been rummaging around in the dirt. You know that they're going to be good. And I thought, what am I going to do with them? And I remembered back to days when I used to take my little kiddies off to Tenerife on holiday. Yes, hello, I have 3 kids in Australia, the best kids you could ever wish for, but they know that. I remember one evening just thinking, well, I've got some chicken and I've got a few basic ingredients, so here, let's give it a go. Tonight I'm going to do the same thing. So my chicken and passata casserole is in the book. You probably can't read that, but this goes back an awful long way. So where to begin? We need we're meant to have 4 boneless chicken breasts. Well, no, I've got 6 chicken thighs. They'll be tastier because they're on the bone, and the bone just gives things that little bit extra. All you need is 250 grams of shallots. Now, shallots are those little onions. They're not shallots as in Australia, where they think that these things are shallots. They're not. They're spring onions. But you can use spring onions instead of shallots. You can also use red onions. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit of both. You need a jar of passata. Passata, now that's that rather thick, rich, yummy tomato sauce. I don't have any. Again, we're in lockdown. So what do I have? I've got some peeled plum tomatoes that I'm going to bash up, and I've got some tomato paste. So we're going to use a combination of these two and make our own little passata. We need some fresh thyme. I don't have that either. I've got some in a jar, but it's just not quite that nice. So I'm going to go with a bit of parsley. And a yellow pepper and a green pepper. We don't have those either. We've got red peppers because I was thinking I was going to be cooking an awful lot more chili con carne and those sorts of things that we're going to need red peppers. So we'll use red for this. And then 12 pitted black olives. Well, I do happen to have a jar of some Kalamata olives. They're really yummy. And so that's the way we're going to go. So let's get this thing started. So here we go. 2 tablespoons of olive oil going in the pan. You can't see the pan because I can't manage this camera just yet, but I'm sure I'm going to get really good at it eventually. And then here we are with our yummy chicken. You can see there that lovely corn-fed yellowy colour to it. Really, really nice. Now there is some fat on it. I'll show you there, a little bit of fat. I'm going to leave that on for now because I think it'll render down into the sauce, and I can always spoon it off at the end if I don't want it, but it really will add to the flavour. So let's give it a go. Oh, hear that sizzling? So we're not going to cook them all the way through, we're just going to brown them. So there we are. And I told you there were 6, there aren't, there are only 4. Oops. I'm going to let that go now, a little bit of browning, and I'll come back to you when they're done. So the chicken, it's just browning nicely. Now, I'm going to turn this red onion into kind of shallots. And what I've done is I've just slit around it, and I'm going to take off the outer layers and just let them go in little shapes like that. Maybe want a little bit more off that. It's still just a tad on the large side. One more layer, let's take that off. But the middle bit, I'm going to leave whole. Oops! Well, that was slippery. 10-second rule, won't hurt anyone today. I'm going to put this last little bit in as though it's a shallot. So I'm going to fool everybody. And the rest of it will just go in like this. So here you can see bubbling away, maybe you can't, but bubbling away on the stove. No, I can't quite get this right, can I? Cameraman needs a bit of help. is the chicken. I'll turn that over and we'll give the other sides a go now. So I've browned off the chicken nicely. Next stage is onions in, a little bit of seasoning, so let's just go with a little bit of salt, some pepper, at this point I want to put a little bit of garlic in, and then we're going to bring on the passata. So now we're bringing on the passata. So I've got my peeled tomatoes. I find that peeled ones have a lot more goodness in them than if you buy them ready chopped. I'm not sure whether that's true or whether that's just a fallacy, but this is the way I prefer to do it. I'm just going to whack them in there. I'm also going to give a really good squirt of double concentrated tomato puree. I'm not sure how they find double concentrated, but we'll just go with a good couple of tablespoons just to really, really thicken up that flavour. I'm going to bash it all down using my trusty wooden spatula-y thing and just push into those tomatoes. They'll break down in the cooking anyway, so you don't have to worry about pushing them around too much, but just get them in there. And you know, if you think you've not got quite enough juice, we might even go for a second tin of tomatoes. What I might do is just rinse this one out, a little bit of water. Here we go. A little bit of water, give it a little bit of a shake around. Don't shake it over yourself. Wouldn't want red stains on this shirt, Eloise, would I? And in we go. So that's just giving a little bit of extra. I can just, to counterbalance the fact that I've put water in, go with a little bit more of the concentrate. Why not? Nobody's watching. Well, you are, I hope. And then we put our chopped parsley. So I chopped that while you weren't watching. So that's going to go in. And whoops, I just knocked you over. So I've done my little bit of salt and pepper. I might do a little bit more, but basically what I'm going to do now is pop a lid on. It's going to go in the oven, 180 degrees, 30 minutes. Then when we come back, we put in our yellow and green peppers and our pitted olives. So I will see you in 30 minutes. Right, so while that's been in the oven, I've just been prepping my vegetables, and I just wanted to tell you, as I popped it in the oven, and after I'd spoken to you, I thought, it's meant to have 550 grams of passata. Now, I know that my jar of tomato is only about 400, 440, and I had put a little bit of extra water, but I did put a tiny splash of white wine in. So it's not in the recipe, but I just thought it might just add a little something to it, and let's see how we go. You don't have to, it's not obligatory, it was just, I thought I just needed that tiny little bit of extra liquid in there. I didn't want it to dry out. Apart from myself, who would probably do need to dry out. And here is my vegetable matter all ready to go. So we've got the olives, we've got our finely, well, not so finely sliced, but sliced red pepper that should be yellow or green, pitted olives, and I'm going to put a little bit more parsley in there. So we've got a few more minutes to go. I'll come back to you when I'm ready to pop those bits in. So here we are, back again, 30 minutes into the cooking time, and I'm going to show you what it looks like halfway through, or try to. Bear with me. Yum. Fabulous. That is looking really good. Now, come with me. Oh dear, I'm not so good on this camera work, am I? But there we go, it's sizzling away. So let's just pop all of our lovely little chopped veggies in. Plus that nice little bit of extra parsley, because I always think it cooks down a bit. You know, you put them in and then they go sort of charred and brown and what have you. And I think at the very end I'll probably end up sprinkling a little bit of extra chopped parsley on top, just to give it that little frisson of colour. You know, we like it like that, don't we? Okay, I'm going to pop this back in and I'll be back when it's done. So here we are, and the chicken passata casserole is just about finished. I think you are going to be really impressed with this. I'm going to pull it out of the oven now. You can all have a look at it and then go away and cook it yourselves. So here we are. Chicken passata casserole. Oh, yum. That looks wonderful. Can you see? Just really, really yummy, tomatoey. It's got that red pepper in there. I can't get it in the picture. It's going to be fabulous. Yummy, yummy. Do it with rice, do it with baked potatoes, that's what I'm doing tonight. Do a green veg on the side. We're going to have broccoli, you can have green beans, you can have cabbage, you can have whatever you choose, but I think you will love it. So that is my chicken passata casserole, and I will try and show you now the recipe. No, it's not going to work, is it? Anyhow, if you'd like the recipe, just give me a shout. Bye for now.